Thank you for joining us with another episode of TBP Tech Time. I'm Jake from TOMS Bronco Parts. What we're going to be doing today is installing our floorboard insulation kit and a deluxe carpet kit. As you can see, we have a 1968 Bronco here. We've taken out all the old interior, and what we're doing is cleaning and prepping the surface to install the new insulation. So what we'll do is we'll get everything laid out, show you where everything goes, and show you how we adhere that insulation, install the carpet. So we'll get right back with you when we have some of those things laid out. Okay, we're back here at the 68 Bronco where we're installing the floorboard insulation kit and the full carpet kit. We've basically got everything set in place where we're going to want the insulation. This did have a standard 4-point roll bar. So what we'll do next is make a notation here of where the roll bar foot pad sits on each side. We'll remove that insulation on all 4 pads, and then I'll go ahead and reinstall the 4-point roll bar, and then when we do the carpet, we'll trim out and put the carpet over the pads of the roll bar over the bolt heads as well, and that's going to make it look nice and clean. Some guys will go ahead and put the roll bar feet on top of the carpet. Personally, I like them underneath it, so we'll go ahead and do that. Also, this Bronco has a really interesting thing going on here for the shifters. It has a aftermarket odd C6 shifter, your factory T-style shifter, and then this is for an overdrive. So instead of just holding this up there and guessing, what I like to do is I'll take my tape measure back from the seam, knowing that the center is, let's say, 8.5. We'll go into the center of the hole 3. So I'll come over here. Basically, I'll draw this out. This is where my seam will be. So I'll draw that out there. Same thing on this side. So we'll go back 8.5. We'll make a mark. And then we'll go over 3. And I'll make a mark there. So I know that that is the center of this shift handle. I'll go ahead and measure the opening here on all 3 points and measure the center point on all of them. I'll put that on and I'll go ahead and cut it out. That just gives you a lot cleaner look, a lot better job than, kind of making holes and just throwing it over. We'll go ahead and get that done. We'll get the roll bar reinstalled, and then it'll be time to put the carpet in. All right, we're back here at the Bronco. One thing I want to go over with you guys is the sound deadening material that you stick down. Now what this does, it keeps some of the noise and the heat out. Also, it prevents some of the resonation that tends to take place with any metal floorboards. There's a specific pattern that you want these laid in, and what I did, I've already gone ahead and stuck quite a few of these down. As you can see on the passenger side, you've put 3 in the rear passenger floorboard that follow the factory contours and the reinforcements. Same thing moving forward, and then once you get up to where the feet sit, those go perpendicular to factory reinforcements. And if you come up here, there's some alongside the tunnel cover and back on this brake here. Also up on the front dash panel, and that's going to prevent, like I said, added vibration and added noise. One in the center here. This piece would usually be sitting here, but because of the overdrive shifter, we went ahead and moved it perpendicular. Also, this longer section would sit along the back portion of the tunnel cover. Due to this C6 shifter, we're going to have to modify it. I'll probably go ahead and trim it, put a piece here, and maybe an extra piece on the side of the tunnel cover. If you want to come over here to the driver's side, I can show you here we have the 2 long portions where the driver's seat is going to sit. And then basically the driver's side, you do the same thing. Follow the factory contours in the floor pan on the flat portion, and as it comes up, you'll run perpendicular again. So anyway, we have everything trimmed out. We have the roll bar reinstalled. We're going to go ahead and put the insulation back in, make sure it's trimmed properly. And I'll go over a few things when we do that once it's in place. Now that we have all the insulation back in place, I want to go over a few things with you. There is trimming like I spoke of earlier. Basically what we did, we trimmed out here for the fuel selector switch. We trimmed out for some of the stuff I spoke of earlier, like the e-brake cable, the dimmer switch, the gas pedal, obviously all of your shifters depending upon what configuration you have. Another thing that I like to do, we'll get over here, is where the carpet hold down strips are going to ride, I trim the insulation back just slightly. Otherwise, when you put the carpet hold down strips in, because of the thickness of the insulation and carpet together, your carpet strip is going to want to sit at an angle. So if you trim this back, have the carpet step down, then go under the carpet hold down strip, it's going to work out a lot better. Also, one thing that we've done, and you can see here, you can see it protruding, is we've left any bolt hole that we're going to be reusing, we've put the bolt in. I like to thread those in, leave them up just slightly, and then you can go ahead, make an X mark, and cut around those bolt heads. So we'll do that now. We'll get all the bolt heads cut around. We're going to go ahead also and take this tape, and any of our seams will run the tape on, so it'll be one continuous unit. After that, we'll basically be ready to install the carpet, and we'll show you that process when we get started. Okay, we're back here with the Bronco. As you can see, we have the insulation completely installed. We have taped all the seams throughout, anywhere that there was a cut where pieces met each other. We've marked, cut our holes for the factory seat belts, the seat brackets, driver and passenger side. We've cut out for our tunnel cover. Also, since we're going to be installing a TOMS Bronco Parts fold and tumble, we cut out for the brackets there, marked those, and we also cut around our roll bar feet. We did not use the spray adhesive to hold down the insulation. The reason for that is, if you ever have to remove the insulation, if you do use the spray adhesive, which is a great product, it just makes it really hard to remove. So if this is going to be a one-time thing, you never want to remove it, definitely go ahead and spray it down. But if you ever think you're going to change things, don't spray it down. And since we're going to be using a carpet with the hold down strips, everything will stay in place just fine, especially once you get your seats bolted down, the tunnel covers are back on, you know, it's not going to move around. Another thing to consider at this time is if you're going to be running speakers, maybe on the rear wheel wells or in your quarter panels, run your speaker wire at this time. Either run it under the insulation. I personally like to run it between my insulation and the carpet. The reason for that is if I ever change something up, I'm just removing the carpet. I don't have to get back under the insulation to do so. And you're not going to feel the wire if you lay it nice and flat. You're not going to feel that underneath the carpet. So what we'll do now is we'll get our carpet laid out, make some measurements for that, and we'll get you guys back with us when we do that. Okay, we're back here with the Bronco, and as you can see, I put the wheel wells in. That's the first step, is to get the wheel wells down nice and tight. Use some of the spray adhesive. With this Bronco, since we have a 4-point roll bar like I talked about earlier, I had to trim out a little bit of the carpet. And you can see here on the driver's side what I did. I trimmed around to cover the foot plate and got it in place, and then I put some spray adhesive under that corner. After the wheel well's in place, this will lay over it and cover up any of your seams. The next part I'm doing, I put this up. I know where my trim's going to need to be. By holding my finger there, I made an incision. I'll cut out a circle shape to fit around the bar. And do a smaller circle the first time always. Make sure that you don't want to overcut. You can always cut larger. You can never add material to it. So do that. Get it tight. Make sure you're going to fit. That should be just fine. That covers up the bolt heads and just makes everything look a lot cleaner. You can get off some of that extra carpet. So what I'll do now that I know that's going to fit, I'll come in here with my spray adhesive, and I like to just kind of give it a nice wide swath while I'm shooting this in. I'll put a little bit right on there. Let that tack up. As that tacks up, I'm going to put some on the carpet, the back side of the carpet itself. And that really helps the two to bond together. So now that I've done that, I'll be careful not to get that adhesive on my roll bar when I set it down. Bring it in here, work out any of my lumps or anything that you have in the carpet. Hold it in place for a minute or so and it'll set up. So now that we've done this, we'll just kind of work our way forward, get to the center seam, then we'll worry about the tunnel cover area and get that all taken care of up front. Okay, we're back here at the Bronco. We have the rear portion of the carpet all the way in. The edges are adhered down. The seat brackets for the fold and tumble are in place. Basically, now I'm starting on the front half, and I treat the carpet kit almost as if it's two pieces. I'll do the rear half first with the front kind of folded up, get that nice and taut as you go forward. Then I find this front seam and I start working it forward, pulling it tight. Like I said earlier, this has a really weird tunnel configuration with the C6 shifter, the factory T-style shift handle, and then this overdrive shifter. So what we're gonna do is I have holes cut out for all of them. We'll check to make sure our boots fit fine on them and that they're gonna cover the location. Right now it's smaller holes than I'm anticipating actually cutting out, and that's how you wanna do it, a little at a time. Make sure your seams are along the body lines and the contours in your tunnel, your floor pan. If you have a fuel selector switch, you wanna make sure that's cut out for, which I've done. Anyway, I'm gonna keep working my way forward. Once everything fits properly, I'll go ahead and use the spray adhesive and go around the edge, and then I'll get my carpet hold down strips in. So we'll come back with you guys when we get to that point. Okay, so we're back here with the Bronco. As you can see, we've installed the seats, the seat belts are installed. Our carpet's in. All we have left to do here is put the tunnel cover back together with the shift boots. Also, I laid it all out, but I still have to go ahead and spray the front floor area down with the spray adhesive, and that's going to hold it in place. And then the last step will be to go ahead and put our carpet hold down strips on. So we'll show you guys that process as we're doing it, and we'll spray it down, get it all in place, and then we'll come back and show you how to put the carpet hold down strips on. All right, we're back here at the Bronco. We have everything finished up now. Seats are reinstalled. All the shift boots and all the shifters are back in place. We've gone ahead and installed our carpet hold down strips. And as you can see, since we cut that insulation back, like I stated earlier, the carpet then rolls down nice, and this carpet hold down strip lays down nice and flat. And it's a clean look. It holds down. You don't have to use an adhesive if you don't want to at that point. I did go ahead and use a little adhesive up where your feet are going to be resting. That just keeps everything in place. The carpet hold down strips are also on the driver's side and at the rear bed section as well. So this is basically a finished product with our deluxe carpet kit. You know, if you have any questions on what you've seen here, give us a call at Tom's Bronco Parts, or you can reach us on the web at tomsbroncoparts.com.